Hi guys, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. Today I would like to continue my series of materials for one of the best games I played in 2024. Today we continue with Burning Banners. This is a game from Compass Games, really nicely produced by Christopher Muller. And as you probably noticed on my blog and YouTube channel, I already created several materials, couple of playthroughs, unboxing, also the articles with the session reports. Today I would like to use the fourth campaign, so Orcs in the Deepwater, as an introduction of the advanced game mode. So we'll be playing this campaign and I will explain this in a bit. I would like you guys to be introduced here to how the advanced game mode works in Burning Banners. My previous two videos about first two scenarios, so these were, just to remind you, the introductory campaign, the invasion of Drefeld, and the campaign 1, fight to the death, were done with the basic rules. I think it was a good introduction to the system, and I think you are now ready to jump to the deep water. Yeah, you can say, yeah, this is also the name of the scenario. So let's do it that way. For those who knows already the advanced rules of the Burning Banners, you can skip to the actual playthrough of this campaign. I will zoom in to the map so it's clearly visible what is where. For those who would like to hear a bit about the advanced rules, please stay with this chapter. Okay, so let's talk about the advanced rules in the Burning Banners. It gives us several of the things, and first thing to note, let me get the rule book actually, because it will be very helpful. And we will look at this. This is the rule book for the Burning Banners. It says that, yeah, the 24 pages of the rule book are for the basic game, and another, I would say, 13 is for advanced game. However, note that there are parts of the basic game where we already have some reference to advanced rules, and this is done in a very nice way because this is done in the red ink. So if you read, for example, about the units, you would see all in black is referring to the basic rules, and all in red is referring to the advanced rules, like heroes and monsters. The same for the setup. If we look here, we can see that in red we have the part connected to the advanced rules, and in the black this is to the basic rules. And of course, what you have in the basic rules, you will also have in the advanced rules, with some small changes. So let me go one by one by the key additions of advanced rules. First and foremost, you need much more space. Sorry for this, you can see I'm a bit cramped here with all this stuff. So you need more space because you need the area for the magic card display. Magic card display will have the spells here, the treasure here, the discarded spells here, and discarded blessings here. What else you will need is a space for the heroes of the factions, and also for the blessings and spells of the factions. You will be using much more from the seasons display because there will be also arcane phase. So in essence, when playing the advanced game, you need more space. Second important thing in advanced game is that you will have heroes. Each side has a stack of heroes. Let me show it to you. These are the cards which show the pictures of heroes, and here their special abilities. Everybody has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heroes in the game, and they are also represented by the tokens which you can put on the map. Yeah. Usually heroes have some really nice movement rating. They don't have any combat rating because rarely ever they add the actual die, although there are some which would add the die. However, they can cast spells and they allow the stack to have 2 tokens. So you can have such a situation that if you have, for example, here dwarfs, and we'll take a dwarf hero, you will have a stack then, yeah, with a hero and with a dwarf. So this is a good example how it works. Heroes cost, you have their cost here at the back. It's usually free, but some factions have them cheaper. I believe Fjordland have them for 2. And they have a pretty cool characteristics. When we'll be playing the game, I will show you, of course, the characteristics of a particular heroes will have. And another thing is that they allow for the spelling, for casting the spells, of course. And how can you check it? Because the heroes have this interesting marker here, which shows that they are capable of casting the spells. So heroes are added in the advanced game. It's a pretty thematic addition, I believe, and pretty cool. We have heroes, so we'll have monsters. Yes! There are areas which are impassable and you cannot, interact with them in the basic game. These are the layers. So we have such areas where the dragons will be, or maybe some sea monsters. There is at least several on each of the 4 maps, and in the advanced game you can try to attack them. What happens when you attack such area? First of all, you will be drawing randomly from the monster stack, and there will be monsters which are, the land monsters and the sea monsters. The land monsters, for example, here we have a name, number of die, the skills, so abilities, which is, for example, capable of casting the spells, and how much gold we would get if we kill them. If we kill such a monster in the lair, we will also get a treasure, and treasures are wonderful things which can bring you a lot of benefits. Some of the monsters might be a bit more dangerous. Here we have 3 white die, but also the reward is bigger in the gold. What happens when we uncover a monster? We fight with them and we lose. Of course, we take hits, but one of our opponents will take control of the monster. So, for example, if the orcs come here, they attack this monster, they do not kill them, one of the opponents, in this case, in our scenario, it will be dwarves, will be taking over them with this marker and will be able to fight, to strike actually with them. The monsters will not move on the map, but they will be able to strike. And the player age shows very nicely what is the strike range of the monsters. So you can see monster strikes. Sea monsters have 4 hexes, flying has 3 hexes, mage 2 hexes, and other can only strike at adjacent, areas. And those strikes are, of course, out of combat. This is a new thing also in advanced rules, that you can strike in the combat. There are some spells and some blessings which allow you to put a wandering monster, which will be put somewhere on the map, but not in the lair. And he or she, it will be immobile, but will be able of striking enemy forces. Usually there are some rules or maybe some restrictions where you can put them. In essence, they will be controlled by one of the sides, for example, by the dwarves, and when orcs, for example, approach them and kill them, they will get the money for the gold, but they will not get treasure. Treasures are hidden only in the lairs, so you cannot get the treasure from the wandering monster. I believe this is a pretty straightforward rule, both about heroes and about monsters. The most complicated addition to the game is magic. So the 4th area of advanced rules, which brings most additional stuff, is magic. Magic has 3, I would say, areas. First of all, we have spells. Each player can have maximum of 3 spells, and there are various spells with various, markings. A couple of things which I would like to draw your attention to. The spells will need almost always somebody who can cast them. This means that a spell needs a mage who can cast it. The mage can cast this spell with a range up to 4. So 4 hexes, for example, from the hero or maybe from the monster. That's how you read it. And this is kind of a spell which is used only during the battle magic. So during the battles now will be enhanced by the magic. You have also spells which have such an interesting marker. These are the cantrips. The regular spell you can cast only during your turn, usually in the phase which is mentioned on the spell. The cantrips can be casted during your turn or during the opponent's turn. And it can also be during your ally's turn. Of course, the normal rules apply, but you need to have somebody who can cast it, and there's a proper range to cast a spell. The spells are very varied. I believe when we start to play, we'll look at them and I will explain a couple of them which will be used during this particular game, during this demo. But they are very cool and they add a lot to the gameplay. Second thing in the magic are treasures. As I told you, you gain the treasure when you conquer a lair, and treasures can be spells, can be tomes. Tomes are played together with a spell, and can be some, I don't know, special bits like gain 5 gold. When you cast a spell, you put this into the discard pile. When you use the treasure, you just simply put it in front of you. It's used, but it can be recovered. So it's a multi-use tool. Very, very cool thing. This is something connected to monsters. I believe that during our plays, we usually draw like 3, 4, maximum 5 treasures. So a lot of treasures which are in this deck are not yet explored by me, which is cool, I believe, which is great. Now, the spells, there is one deck of spells and every player draws from them. There is one deck of treasures and every player draws from them. But the blessings are connected to specific factions, and blessings, unlike spells, very often does not have the requirement of having the nearby caster. These are kind of skills of the faction. So you can see out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blessings of orcs, I see only 2 where you need a caster. We have another blessings here on the side of dwarves. We don't need a caster anywhere, so these are like special abilities. And they really are tailored to the particular faction. For example, dwarves are getting a lot of blessings which increase their speed. They are the slowest faction by far. Very mighty but slow. It helps them actually to gain much more speed. The orcs, for example, have a lot of, let's say, blessings which requires them to sacrifice but to gain additional black die, for example. So they will inflict much more hits and much more damage, but at the cost of either some wound or maybe some even sacrifice. At the beginning of a game, you draw 3 spells per player and 1 blessing per faction. The treasures you will only get when you successfully defeat the monsters in lairs. Now, after each turn, you will have additional phase called Arcane phase. You can see that in the basic game you simply were moving the orcs here. They did the turn complete. But here you have Arcane phase, and we'll have some tomes which will be allowing us to study some arcane. In essence, there are 2 types of arcane studies. These are glyphs and these are churns. Glyphs allow to study 3 different disciplines. Churns allow only for studying 1 discipline. So we'll be randomly putting them here. We know what is the initial distribution, but we don't know what we'll draw from this. What are the disciplines? It's very easy. First discipline is that you can discard 1 blessing and you can draw to the maximum of blessing, that is 1. Another discipline is that you can discard one spell and draw to the maximum of spells, which is 3. And the third discipline is that you can recover the treasure. And during the play, I believe it will be nicely visible. So let me draw them here, and they are not visible. We don't know exactly what it will be. This arcane phase is played by all the players. So the orcs will do the income phase, activation phase, but the arcane phase is played by all players because they might, first of all, discard some blessing or spell because they are not fancy, they are not good, or maybe they casted some spells or used some treasures during the opponent's turn and they simply would like, to recover it. There will be some additional small things which are important in advanced rules, like for example that feral armies of the army of the night will raise the settlements now, and in the basic game they are not raising. There will be a couple of additional small tweaks and to the mechanics, but I believe instead of telling you all of this, I prefer to show the gameplay and then during the gameplay show those differences. Just remember about 3 things during advanced game. You're getting heroes, pretty cool. You're getting monsters, which you can defeat, and treasures, which they will provide, pretty cool. And you're getting magic. So now this fantasy world of Kalar, this is how it's called, is complete. With advanced rules, you're getting everything. You have asymmetric armies, you have heroes, you have monsters, you have magic, you have battles, cities, lairs, treasures, everything. It's a really, really cool game. Also, simply from the theme perspective, and yeah, you can probably tell that I like it. Yeah, definitely. One more thing which I will just mention, the advanced game also brings winter, which is more like a season when you do some cleanups and reshuffles and so on, not necessarily play any actions. So this also takes part during the game. Okay, so we'll finish the explanation of advanced rules. It took us 15 minutes. It was pretty brief and pretty basic because the examples of the advanced rules will be during the game. So let's move to it. So let's start the actual gameplay. I zoomed a bit so you can see the map nicely. You can see my dice rolls. You will see also at least part of the season display income track. This is not so important like spells and treasures. Yeah, this is just discard pile and draw pile. Here we will have the money, the control markers, and also the forces. Here I will be storing, the spells and blessings. Here we'll have heroes of all on both sides. We shall tell you now a bit about the campaign we would like to play. I have on purpose choose campaign for Orcs on the Deepwater. When I'm creating those videos for you guys, I want to choose a small 2-player campaigns so they can be quickly played and explain all the rules. Advanced rules really impacts the length of the game. It increases it significantly, at least until you don't get all the rules easily familiarized with. So I wanted a short, small scenario. So this is 2-player. This is only 3 turns. So it will be pretty quick, and it also uses only 1 map, Fields of Ash. From historical point of view, this is year 584, so this is 5th year of the Great War. The orcs are trying to overcome the dwarves. They will be attacking from the east, so you can see them here. They will be attacking here toward this direction. The Empire will not play in this scenario, will have only the dwarves. The orcs will be moving first. The dwarves will be moving second. It starts in spring, ends in autumn, so only 3 turns, as I said. The arcane study, which is advanced game part, will have like 2 glyphs and 1 turn, so it allows reminder for studying 3 disciplines. This allows for studying 1 discipline, and it's also already distributed there. It's outside of a, let's say, scope of a camera, but don't worry. What do we have here? First of all, victory conditions. I like victory conditions in this scenario. There was a lot of scenarios where it said the invader has to control that amount of, settlements. Here it's slightly different. It says the orc player wins the game if at the end of any season there are 6 neutral or oathborn settlements which contain an orc control marker or raised marker. So this is a very dangerous for dwarves in this scenario, because it's enough for the orcs to overwhelm the defenses and simply burn the settlements. And there are a couple of them for easy pickings, like here, these are 2, and there are like 3 here, there's another here, so this is 6, potentially here, 7. So they have options, and they don't need really to worry themselves with raising them, because their goal is to burn, to rape, to murder, to crush. So it's hard scenario for the defender, I believe. But on the other hand, as you can see, the defender have a pretty big amount of gold at the beginning. They have also nice starting income, and the orcs have only 16 gold. This is not much more than the defender. This is definitely not much more, and it might be problematic for the orcs, but I believe this is done in order to balance the game. There is always a very nice historical background here. I always read it with interest. It's really nice. We already set up the game, and we used those optional quick start setup cards, introductory campaign and campaigns 1-6. Yes, so this is what we did. So orcs have in western entry hexes 2 orc ravers, 2 orc scouts and 1 ogre. So this is it. I believe this is the optimal setup for the orcs if we need to use those units, because if we put ogre here, he will not reach any settlement in the first turn, and here he will have possibility to reach here. This also could be a nice spot for the orcs, because this is a very powerful unit and he can crush almost any enemy. That means that maybe he will get a lot of gold. And those units are here because they can reach both 2 settlements, and this will be the targets for them in the first turn. This is your coup, and this is problematic because this is fortified settlement. So you don't score the hit on 5 or more, but on 6 or more. By the way, if you would like to learn the basic game rules, I strongly suggest you to watch my 2 other videos where I was showing, the first 2 campaigns and explaining the basic rules. So gold and income. So we have 6 gold in markers, yeah. So the 6 gold is here, and orc banner in the first space of a turn track. Yeah, that's correct. Now, Oathborn. They have in Drakenhold and Port Talonshed King's Crossbow. Exactly. They have them here, and they have 2 miners. One is here and one is here. They still have 7 gold to use during their turn, and banner is in the second space, and their income is pretty huge, it's 8. Now, so this is the initial setup, but that's not everything, because we play advanced rules. If we play advanced rules, what is missing on the map are the heroes. So let's try to draw the heroes. This will be the orc hero. Whom do we have? We have Gaunt. Okay, so let me find Gaunt. I will show them to you in a moment. Okay, this will be Gaunt. And the Oathborn player will have Dara. Okay, Dara, let me find Dara. Okay, so let's have a look at those heroes and let's decide where to position them, where to stack them with. So this is Gaunt, and as you can see, Gaunt the Unbreakable. First of all, he can cast a spell, and evidently he will be adding the black die. Gaunt has a 1 black die combat rating. So actually, when we stack him with a regular unit, he will be adding 1 black die. This is very, very useful. Not very subtle, but very useful. So I believe we have enough firepower here. Those guys should be able to overcome the regular settlement, but this orc raver might need some helping hand with attacking Yurku. So I believe I will put this guy here. And we put him here as the hero for the orcs. I told you, you need more space when you play advanced rules. Of course, it also causes this wing of the orcs to have possibility to cast spells. Dara, what Dara can do? Dara has lock, so this ability is, you can use it only once per turn. Dara gains 1 white die. Pretty universal, although not so powerful like Gaunt. Where do we need her and where do we want her? I believe the northern approach is important, but city, yeah, we'll put her in the city. So this hero. Just a reminder, they have enough money, both sides, to buy additional heroes later during their turn, and this is completely okay. You build them like any regular unit, you pay, and you place them in your settlement, which is not besieged, of course. Another important point of advanced game setup is we need to draw blessings and we need to draw spells for each of the sides. And now we will look at those spells and I will explain them. So let us take 3 spells each side and everybody gets 1 blessing. And let me approach the camera and let's zoom in what they got. By the way, this game is pretty cool in basic rules for solo play. This is not so cool for solo play with advanced rules because you have a lot of hidden information on the cards, the spells. So this will be the blessing. What kind of blessing? Gain gold equal to the number of settlements the orcs control +2. Very cool blessing because orcs are usually low on money, and as you can see there are no prerequisites like you need the caster and you can cast it also during the opponent's turn. And then we got 3 spells. First is the 4-fingered fist. 2 black die, strike. So we do a strike, 2 black die targeting a monster or unexplored lair within 4 hexes of welcoming settlement. If a monster is defeated, gain a treasure and the indicated reward in gold -1. Cool thing, especially for orcs because they need money. But this is not a battle magic, definitely. This is a battle magic. Ritual of Power. It needs a caster. It doubles the white die. Army stacked with caster doubles the white dice in the combat rating. Nice! Now you see how the spells can change the game dynamics. And last but not least, Hawkeye. This can be also played during the turn of the opponent. See what's the requirement? You need somebody with a range, so not mage, but actually a unit with a range, skill. Strike, and so 2 white die, targeting a stack, monster or garrison. Note the range requirement. Fine, really cool. Might be very useful for attacking some of the garrisons. I think, I believe orcs got very good, very cool blessings and the spells. Let me put them like this so I remember and can reference to them whenever we'll be playing, because playing to hand with all those cards requires some management. So what do we have for the dwarves? They have deep paths. An off-born stack gains movement rating 5. You see, I told you about those blessings which will give you possibility to move much quicker. It ignores lairs, enemy units, hostile settlements, and terrain costs while moving. Wow! It must begin or end its move in a mountain hex, so there is always some condition. But still, this is pretty cool because they can build, for example, here some powerful units and move 5 hexes from here. This is really, really good. Now, Sudden Fog. It requires Mage, range 2, Battle Magic. Target stack, monster or garrison reduces its combat rating by 2 white or 1 black. Oh, that will be cool. But you need to be close, and at least at the beginning of the game, the dwarves are nowhere close. Now, Molten Hammer. Battle Magic. Target unit, monster or garrison gains 1 black die. Simple, but very cool. And now you can ask, why garrison? How can garrison gain 1 black die? Simply, this is a cantrip. So the mage, who is, for example, 2 hexes from the friendly garrison or welcoming garrison, can cast spell. How could it look like? If we have those guys here, and for example those guys approach here and attack this settlement, this can be played during the battle magic segment of the battle by those guys to add 1 black die here. That's how it could potentially work. Okay. And last but not least, Crushing Winds, range 2 with mage. So strike, and we can do strike with a 1 white and 1 black, targeting a stack, monster or garrison in or adjacent to a forest hex, so next to the forest. You see, and that's the pity of playing this game two-handed, because if we don't know it, we might approach this forest with the orcs. Now will be very wary. Option: after resolving the strike, discard a spell to strike the same target again. That's wonderful. I believe the dwarves also got some cool spells. Let me just remember what they have, because it will really, really benefit them during the battle. I don't believe any of the sides will be willing to get rid of those spells, because they are strong and they are really, really good for them. Okie doke. So, do we have everything in the setup done? I believe so. So, it will be time to start now the gameplay. We start with the orcs. We have 3 turns and they are first. So, this is the initial build. At the beginning, in the income phase, they need to pay, of course, for each and every settlement they control. They control nothing. So we will jump almost immediately to the action phase. Just a reminder, the player aid, really good one, shows you the turn sequence, income action step, income step during the income phase, then activation phase, and then arcane study phase. So shall we begin? Yeah, most probably we shall begin. We'll start with Ogre. He will attack this poor settlement. He is pretty powerful. He has 2 black, 2 white. So he scored 1 hit. That's not much. We cannot do any kind of a battle magic, because we don't have any mage here. We could potentially play this, but this is not battle. 1, so 0 hits. So 1 hit on the attacker side, 0 on the defender side. They enter here, and I believe I don't want to raise it. Of course, I want to control it. And because this is Shashka Kingdom, they will get 3 gold. Yes, so they will have now 9. That was nice beginning, but very much expected. Now, here we will have some more problems, most probably. Let me move those guys from here, and now it's a good idea to discuss a bit. They have pretty nice those things. You know what? Let me do it that way. Excuse me. Let me move this guy 1, 2, 3, and let me try to use this spell. It's range 1, so adjacent. It allows to strike a target with 2 white die. So you remember the strike works that way, that first we attack and then the enemy attacks it. Do we want to strike here? If we do this strike, we'll raise it, yeah. And if we raise it, we'll not be able to build. So let's leave it for the fight with the actual enemies. We will not do it that way. We'll move forward. Yeah, people. The strikes are pretty cool for orcs, but if you strike the settlement outside of the combat, yeah, this is outside of combat, you will simply raise it. Then we simply start with a basic thing which we anyhow wanted to do. We'll move those guys. 1, 2, 3. The Raver has 3 movement points. The gun has 6 movement points. So they will have black, black, white. The defender has 1 white. This is a very important attack for the orcs, because if they do it right, if they do it well, they will actually be able to get very formidable fortress from which they can then attack further. We don't have any particularly good magic, although yeah, we have magic. So we can cast this spell during the battle magic step. So we'll have double the white die. It's not a good idea. We have 1, we'll have 2. No, so this is not a good idea to do it. Those spells can be good, but you need to find a proper situation. And one more thing with the battle magic, I would like to give you guys a short introduction to how it works, because battle magic has a particular sequence. So before the attack, the attacker will be able to play magic cards, then the defender may play cantrips, and what is important, after this, the attacker can still play cantrips, so those cards which allows you for the play during the other side phase. So this is a pretty cool mechanic. There's some bluffing which you can do there, and of course both sides have to have mages nearby in order to use. So no, we don't use mage, we simply use those die and we just hope that we can win it. This is not good. This is 5, so this is not even a hit. Okay. And the defender rolls 5 and they inflict a hit. So that was a very poor roll. They are not very happy. Let me move this 1, 2, 3. We can still buy some good units, so don't worry. But the beginning was not very good. We attack here, 1 white and 1 black, and versus 1 white. So attack here, no hit again, very poor beginning, and no hit. Said the orc, looking at what's going on and what's happening. He probably need to bring black axe. He will bring those guys here for 4. And what they will do, they will move 1, 2, 3. Now we will cast this spell, which says Ritual of Power, double the white die. We discard this spell. So instead of having 1 black and 3 white, he has 6 whites. Remember, we hit only on the 6, 7, 8, so this is not a bad idea to invest in this spell here. We want to get Yurku at all costs. So the attacker rolls first. And we have a hit. Wow, my goodness, 1. What a calamity. And there is no hit on the defender. Guys, that was pretty close, but they conquered it and they get 3 back. But the beginning was not very successful. So they have now 2 settlements, and we still remember about this blessing, which was giving the additional gold. Let's see in a moment what you can do with this. Now, those scouts, can we do something with them? 1, 2, 3, not much. They can sail, actually they can sail. But before this, during the turn, we can still play the 4-fingered fist with the orcs. We can strike with 2 black die, targeting a monster or unexplored lair within 4 hexes of a welcoming settlement. If a monster is defeated, gain a treasure and the indicated reward in gold -1. So I believe we'll try to strike. And this is range 4. Range 4, so this is welcoming settlement now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We can strike here or we can strike here. Let me strike here. So we strike here. We need a monster here. So let's take him from inside. Ta-da! Red Mask Assassin. This is a pretty cool and thematic. Red Mask Assassin. This is of course immediately controlled by the dwarves. And we do a strike with 2 black die. 5, 6, 7, 8, and we kill him. 6, yeah. So this monster is killed. It gives 2 gold to the orcs. They are pretty well prepared. The spell is of course discarded. And they got a treasure. Let's see what it is. I'm very curious. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what they needed. That's exactly what they needed. Treasure hoard. Gain 5 gold. Eliminate this card, of course. So they can play it or they can wait. They don't need to play it immediately. Yeah, they can wait with this. So we have now pretty nice situation. Let me start moving with them. If we move with those guys here, we can then sail 1, 2, 3. I believe this is. Let me move them here. And with those guys, we'll just move 1, 2, 3. Now, having 8 money means, and some blessings. First of all, we'll play this blessing. I believe this is cool now to get 4 money. It goes to the discarded blessing. 4 money because we are getting 2 plus number of controlled settlements. So this is 4. And now we have 10. Maybe we can build some additional powerful stuff, powerful guys. No, we can try. We can try. Let me build another ogre here for 4. Because I would like to attack here. So we move 1, 2, and we would like to explore this lair. And this is actually explored lair, so I should put this monster here so nobody can attack it till winter. I love guys to attack the lairs and fight with monsters. Simple. Let's see what monster we got this time. Whoa! This is, oh my goodness, some kind of eye, which can also cast spells, which has 3 white die. And it wins the ties, yeah. So if we inflict 1 hit each, he will win. Okay, so the orc has those die, the enemy has those die. I can tell you there could be even more difficult enemies to fight with. So the attacker first. There are no terrain modifiers for the monsters. 8, 4, 1. So there is at least 1 hit. 8 here. So 1 hit, and the monster is rolling now. 2 hits, so 1 hit versus 2 hits, so 1 hit here. It didn't play out, and now they can strike, which is not good. How to prevent them from striking? We need to build something new. So we will build for 5 this huge dark raven. We'll beat him here, and he will fly over here or even over here. He even can fly farther away. Yeah, so he will get here. Do we have any interest? We actually can play this before the attack, so try to strike, but we would need to have a range attack. We don't have a range attack here. Okay, so let me try this first. So we have 2 black, 1 white versus 3 white. We need to get this layer. 6, there is 1 hit. Could be better. 6, so it's a tie, and they are hit. 1 more attempt. We spent 1. We build a scout, and he moves 1, 2, 3. He uses this spell because this spell just requires the range guy. He's the range guy, and we will do the strike with 2 white die. 6, yes, so we killed the monster. And let me just check one thing. If we are getting everything for this monster, I believe we do. By everything I mean treasure and the money. Strikes outside the combat. Okay. If a monster takes a hit, if a monster is eliminated and no reward is collected. No reward is collected. That's a pity. But we had to do it because it was, if dwarves would be able to use it, it will be striking my units around it. Now I believe we need to use this treasure and eliminate it. So 5 money. And can we do something else with the orcs? Let's make some more problems to the dwarves. Let's make some more problems. Unless... Yeah. Let's build 1 more of those for 5. And let's fly with them here. And let's try to raise it. Because this is both huge and feral. So they will destroy this settlement if they manage to crush it. 2 black, and remember 6 of them at the end of the season, and the dwarves lost. 7, this is 1 crit hit, so reroll, nothing, and the settlement, wow, 1-1, nothing happens. Sturdy bastards, yeah, you can say. Sorry, pardon my French. That's all, that's the end of turn 1 for the orcs. We are moving now to the turn 1 for the dwarves. We go through the income phase. They get 8 income, and they really feel that they are in a huge, desperate situation. This settlement has held, fine, nice, but unfortunately this big settlement has already collapsed. And this was more or less expected, but now they have range to this settlement easily within reach. There is this, and this with those flying monsters. So they need to start building units. First of all, they will do the 2 actions of the mining. Guys, we forgot about one thing, of course. I'm so quick, but of course the orcs finish their turn and we do the arcane phase, and everybody can do only one type of a study. The orcs were first. They used all their blessings and all their spells, so they will draw 3 spells they have pretty nice free spells, and you see, it prolongs the game length because each time you need to check it. Place a wandering sea monster in a sea hex adjacent to a coastal hex. Battle magic. Target Fira army gains 1 black die or loses 1 black die from its combat rating. Cool. Necromancy. Play when an army or hero in target hex is eliminated. This is really good. Draw a spell and recover a friendly army anywhere on the map. This might be a very drastic situation for the dwarves now, because if we have a sea monster here striking for the orcs, they can, you know, burn a couple of the things. So what will we do with the dwarves? First of all, they will sail from here to here, so they will be defending this. Then they will move 1, 2, 3. No, we can't get here. We are too slow. We are too slow. This is always a problem with the dwarves, that they are moving so slowly. But we can still find some way for this. So let me build the Iron Legion here for 4. Yes, if we build them here, we can move them 1, 2, 3 to the front. Good. We need to do something about this. Those flying monsters are a true nuisance. True nuisance. Okay. She can move really far for hexes. So if we move with those guys, I can move 1, 2, 3. It's not enough. Oh, let's move 2. So let's move them here. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. The only unit which can move 4 are, of course, those dragon slayers. They are costly, but they can keep the front and they can actually attack nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will move those guys also here. We have only 9 money left, and not too many things. Those 2 things, of course, gives us the control and income, those 2 settlements. So the income is at 10 now, and this gives us income. So it's 11 already. Still, I feel that like the collapse is pretty close and pretty soon. And now, what else shall we do? There's simply not enough forces to simply defend against everything. We have still a couple of those, so we'll put 1 here for 3. And we have 6, 7, so we can buy 1 of those guys and 1 of those guys. It will be 6 and only 1 money will stay with us. We don't have any cool stuff we would like to use. No, we don't want to do anything with their, you know, things. Or maybe they will do a strike. Okay, it's in a moment. We can do the spells whenever we want. So they will add those guys. One will be here, 1 will be here. So this will be end of the turn. They will just cast 1 spell. I believe there is an idea to strike the enemy. And yeah, this was already Oathborn Loyal. No, those flying monsters are a real nuisance, and they can be a very problematic for us here. Unfortunately, so. Okay, so we will cast 1 spell as the dwarves. I believe this will be nice. Okay. Crushing Wines. We do the strike. We have here the hero. Okay. A strike. One white and one black, targeting a stack, monster, or garrison in or adjacent to a forest hex. No, we cannot do it. We are not adjacent to forest hex. So they will not do this, unfortunately not. Do they want to attack somewhere? I don't believe so. They have pretty difficult situation due to these flying monsters, mainly due to those flying monsters. Okay, that's end of a turn 1. One more thing, the arcane phase. So we move it here, and we'll have 3 disciplines to be studied. I believe the orcs are fine with those spells, but they want a blessing. Let us draw a blessing for them. They have overrun. After rolling its die in combat, an orc army may reroll all failures. After resolving combat, the army takes hit. So this is one of those blessings which I was mentioning. Requires sacrifice from you in order to get something useful and cool. But still, this is very, very nice. I have a feeling that during turn 2 they will simply overrun everything, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So do they study anything else? No, they don't want to get rid of anything. And the dwarves would like to study the spells. They will simply discard this. Nobody is willing to get next to the forest. So they discard the spell and they draw to the full. Full is 3. They had 2, so they can only draw 1. Player that just cast a spell must discard another spell at random. So this forces enemy to simply get rid of additional spell. Okay, we are moving to turn 2 of the orcs. What they will do? In the income phase, they have to pay for 2 settlements which they control, and they can potentially raise them or loot them. So they can loot and raise them before starting. So I will do it. I will get 6 money and I will waste them completely. So they are raised. Yep. Now, of course, the raised markers can be removed by the outborn player, and that way prevent the automatic victory. So what shall we do now? Shall we cast some spells? Yeah. Black Tide. Place a wandering sea monster in a sea hex adjacent to a coastal hex. And what we are going to do? We are going to strike the settlement. This is a bit unfair towards the outborn player, because wow, this is a cool stuff. It will be killing easily most of the units and most of enemies. Coastal hex. Where do I want to do it? This is coastal hex. They can be even here. I believe this is a coastal hex, but this would be painful. Sea hex adjacent to coastal hex. Sorry. Sea hex adjacent to a coastal hex. I want to put them here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 because they have the largest range. They have 4, but only to the coastal hexes. So they have now range to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. So nice. And so as we have this monster and we can strike, why not use them and strike against this settlement? It's a bit unfair. Let's strike against those guys. Yeah. And then try to finish them off with the ogre. Yeah, there is a hit, 6, so they are flipped. Now we'll try with ogre 1, 2, and 3 because we moved on the road. We have 2 black, 2 white versus 1 black and 1 white, and the king's crossbowman, of course, wins the ties. Let's see how it goes. 5, 5, 5. So it seems like 3 hits versus 0 hits. Sorry guys, he is dead. He goes here, they enter here, we put the control marker. It's not going well for the dwarves. Now this also gives free money to the orcs. 2, 3, which is really powerful boost for them. Okay. Now, where do we fight? We fight most probably here. We fly with them 1, 2. Let's stay here and we'll attack this settlement. Black, black, white to white. 6 and 5. These are 2 hits. To 1 hit. So we enter this and we burn it to the ground because you're huge and feral. So sorry, no additional money. 1, 2, 3, 4. But at the end of the season, and we have now the summer, so there is still hope for the overboard. And by the way, we need to shuffle Arcanas to the markers in order to be able to play it. Well, where to strike now? Where to strike now? Not a lot of easy pickings, definitely not, but we'll try. We'll move those guys 1, we'll take those with us 2, 3, and we'll try to strike here, of course. And do we want to use some magic? And can they use some magic? No, they have range 2 magic, so there is no possibility to use magic up to here, but we can use here. Just remind me, what did they have? They have reroll failures, they have necromancy, and for the feral. So no, let's not do those. Let's simply try to attack. We will have 2 black and 3 whites. Yep, that's what we'll have. And I don't believe we have any nice magic to play here. No, no magic. We could still use the overrun if we'd like to. But maybe we will not need it. We have 3 hits. And now the opponent rolls 2 hits. So they are flipped. And they are of course besieged now. Where can we attack farther? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can fly with those guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 and attack here. And we would need a caster to actually do something. No, this is fine. So we have 2 black and 1 white versus 1 white. Attack is here. Port Guildford. It's 0 hits. Beautiful. 2 0 hits. Completely wasted turn. Not so easy to attack with those guys. Told you, not so easy. Those can move 1. This would be +2, so 4, so they can only sail here. So let me move with them here. Those will enter here. and those can move 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not enough to move. Let me move 1, 2 here and stay here. Those guys will move 1, 2, 3 that way, and those will move here. They are approaching, not attacking where that does not make sense. And those guys can move 1, 2, 3, and they can try to attack here. Do we have any nice? Yeah, we have some nice stuff here. So let's see if we will use it. Okay, so let me roll 1 white and 1 black. Unfortunately, no hit, and those guys have 1 hit. And we have possibility to use necromancy. Necromancy play when an army or hero in target hex is eliminated. Draw a spell and recover a friendly army anywhere on the map. So they are eliminated. They are killed. Yeah. We put them here. We cast the spell Necromancy. We can draw another spell. This will be Battle Magic. Mage Arrows. 1 white and ranged. Pretty cool. And then we can recover 1 army on the map, which will be those guys. Yeah. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 3. Still 3. So that's not bad for the opponents. But they have this striking monster, which will be a bit of a nuisance. But I believe that's all for the orcs. Let's see what can we study. We'll study 3 disciplines, and because we study 3 disciplines, the orcs will draw 1 more spell because they have only 3. This says target stack may perform ship movement as a free action. Pretty cool to move here and attack here, of course. And for the Overborn, do we want to change something? Maybe we'll get rid of this blessing. Maybe we'll get some better blessing. We get Strong Heart. Recover an Overborn army or gain an Overborn hero. Pretty cool. So let me finish the Orc's turn. And now we'll have the Dwarf's turn. Hopefully, last but not least. Turn to Dwarfs. What they can do? They can first of all get pretty decent income, 11. They are still in desperate straits. And with the 11, they need to strike back somewhere. They can actually get here 1, 2, 3 and try to get it back. Yeah. But they don't have too much potential to do something here. So let me do it. Yeah, they will move here with those guys and they will rebuild it for 2 because this was left undefended. So their income gets up by another point. Now we don't want to leave this lady alone, so she will have a crossbowman. This crossbowman gets here, will earn some money from mines, and we still don't have a way to get here unless we move 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless we move another Dragon Slayer. 1, 2, 3, and 4 with this. So we moved those guys. Just let me mark them. And this is 5. They are still fighting. Now we need to leave somebody here. It's impossible to get it like that. So let me buy, these guys are cheap. 3. Can we get something else? We protect pretty many of those guys. Here we can sail here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let me sail here and let me buy Iron Legion here for 4. And that will be it. I will not do more. No attacks from the dwarves. No idea to do it. Even not against the lairs. Maybe we would like to attack the lair, but we don't have time. And can we study? Yeah, we can study 3 disciplines, but everybody is, I believe, more or less content, or maybe no, everybody is content with what they got. We actually can do one thing during their turn. We can recover 1 Oathborn army. Let it be this. We recover it and we put this into the discard. And we draw 1 blessing then. Oh, Lost City of Kazut. That's a pretty cool blessing for them for the next turn. Yeah. Okay. So we reset the track. We take the markers. We'll be moving to autumn. And because we'll be moving to autumn with a season, we'll have also autumn churn. And there is lore behind it that the magic is not so strong at the end of the year, and that simply, there is only 1 discipline then to be studied if it's being drawn. Okay. Right. I try to randomize it. Turn 3 orcs. It was getting so nice, and suddenly it's not so nice. Yeah, so they have a possibility. They have 1 marker here, 2nd, 3rd here. So they have 3 markers. Not enough, but they can still do a lot of damage this turn. So what they will do, first of all, they will pay this 1 for those guys, because I want them to be able to do it. And what shall they do? They can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can actually use this free sailing, but I believe free sailing, we need a mage. We need a mage in order to do a free sailing. So maybe let's focus here first on this front, and let's see what we can do here. On this front, we should try to get this city, and we'll have possibility to attack at least a couple of times. So first of all, let me move those guys here. This is 2 movement points, and they attack 2 whites versus black and white. Do we want to use any magic? Oh, actually, we can use the magic by the defenders. They use the magic. They use -2 to the dice rolled by those. So they roll 0, and then those guys roll 5, and they kill them. Battle magic was possible because the range was 2. Now, who is next to move? Those guys will move. And they will move here. Okay. Here. They will move here and will try to attack those guys. This is again 2 white, 2 black and white. Let's see what comes out of this. 6 and 5. That was strong. My goodness. You see? 2 hits versus 0. Those guys are dead. And what is worse? Let me put them here. What is worse is that they enter here. And they will loot it. They will loot it for free. They will have money. Much more money now. Oh, that was mostly unexpected. But such things happens, and they can be really positive for those guys. Where do we... This is a Interesting also stuff. What to do with those guys? What to do here? The flying guys are doing 1, 2, 3, 4. They will attack here. They need to. They are the most dangerous actually. They can fly far away. Usually they don't hit, but in case they hit, that can be really nuisance. 8 and 5. These are 2 hits. There's no way on one die will have 2 hits, so they actually raised it. They raised it. So this is point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, we are at 5 points. Now, those beautiful guys can also move somewhere, and those can move somewhere. Not so many settlements now. They are really well guarded by the dwarves. Really nicely guarded. Is there? Those are pretty stuck. Those are unfortunately pretty stuck. Okay, let me do maybe it that way. They need to attack here. There's no other way. We need to try to crush this Iron Legion. They will roll 2, 3 versus 2, 1. And what they will add to this? Do we have any good spells on the attacker side? We have magic arrows. I think we should use magic arrows. 1 white and ranged. We can use battle magic, target fair army, no. And free ship movement, no. So these are things which can potentially help us. So let's do it. 1 white additionally. And let's roll. So 5, 6, 5. Okay, not bad. And the defender, 1 hit. Unfortunately, those guys are dead. And I believe one thing which I didn't do here, when they were losing this, they should lose the income, and here they will lose another income. And we of course get free money out of this. Nice. And control marker. What would be next? We don't need to do too many things to win now. Let me strike here against those poor guys. No hit. That's a pity. Here we can defend it. 1, 2, 3. Let me move them here. They defend here. They defend here. They defend here. So this is 3 points. This is another 3 points. And I don't believe I will get more. We can still build around here, so nobody can get through this. 2 and 2. They are of course immediately finished. We are just trying to secure this. Good. I believe as ogre that will be all. Let's see, what do we have here? Now only 1 discipline. I believe they don't want to throw any spells away. They will simply take those. And now we are very close to the end of the game, because this will be the last turn. Turn 3, Overburn. Of course, we have kind of a end of the world syndrome here, because this is a 3-turn scenario, and of course now the Overburn can do whatever they want without any consequences. They can leave all their cities, unattended and attack the Orcs. But that's how the scenarios work, and I believe if Orcs were not able to secure a decisive victory by the end of their 3rd turn, they will pay the price. At this moment in time, they of course are winning, because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points here, and yeah, the orcs really nicely fortified themselves. Actually, if I would be a orc, I would probably fortify this a little bit by, for example, putting a couple of more slides. They had a lot of money. One, for example, here. One, for example, here. Maybe one additional here, just to see if enemy forces will be able to get through those defenses. It's not impossible, although it might be pretty difficult for the dwarves to do. First and foremost, let's look at their income. They were starting with 8, I believe. They gained 2, so they have 10. Yeah, they have those 2 additional, so they have 10. And they need to reconquer just 1. We have couple options of reconquer. This is completely outside of our reach. This is probably a bit too strong and we need money for rebuilding this. Here we have a situation that it is behind Deepwater. One of the easiest targets would be here, but it is full of enemy units. So we need to move, crush them, and maybe get to this guy in the middle. And that's probably something which we can try to do. We can also use storm giants and have simply a lot of fun. So how do we do it? Let me do it that way. We have 10 money, so let me move those guys here. 1, 2, let them fight with them. At least they simply do not leave this city unattended. They try to do something. No battle magic. I don't see any spells possible to be rolled. Maybe some blessings, but no, they are not good for this. So, oh, 2 hits. That's a wonderful roll. And 2 hits here, but of course they win the tie. So that was not bad. We'll get 2 money from digging, yeah, from mining. And what would be our next step? We need to start creating the path here. So I'm buying the off-taker. Off-taker is 5. Yes, off-taker is 5. And I would like to crush those guys in order to be able... No, let's not build the off-taker. Let's do it the other way around. Let's try to strike here with this Dragon Slayer. They will move here and they will strike against them with a 2 black die. This is not besieged because this is a port, and in order to besiege port you need 2 enemy units to be close to this. So we try to destroy them and then move somebody here to attack this control marker. Strike 5 and 8, so they are dead. And we don't need to enter this hex. When you attack the settlement, you have to advance. If you attack the unit, you don't need to advance. What we can do now? This is end of the world syndrome. So no, we will not build Storm Giant because he will simply no. This is good. This will be good learning of the rules also for you guys. So we build the Storm Giant here. He's ready because this is our settlement. And actually what we should have here, we should have a control marker here, and we should have 1 more income, which will translate into 1 more gold for us. Completely forgotten. The Storm Giant goes here and he will fight with those poor scouts. He has 3 black, 3 white against 2 white. They should win. This is 1, 2, 3 hits, and there is no way they will roll 3 hits, so they die. And now what happens? It's a giant. So a giant is a huge army. If they enter the settlement, they will raise it. So they just remove this control marker, but they do not enter this welcoming otherwise settlement. Yeah, so this is what will happen here. But now what we can do is simply build, I don't know, our favorite Iron Legion. and simply enter here, taking control of that, increasing income and winning the game. To spice up the end of a game, we will also play a blessing, very nice blessing, called Lost City of Kazut. We can place the Lost City. The Lost City has to be in the hills, cannot be adjacent to the lair, cannot be adjacent to the settlement. The only place which I can see on the map is actually here. It's pretty nice city. This is magically fortified in mountains. Almost not possible to be conquered. And of course you can build the units then. Pretty interesting, one time of course, blessing of the dwarfs. And this is end of a turn 3. So time for summary. We'll not be doing any kind of arcane phase because we just reached the end of the season 3. It is autumn. Normally we would play now winter, do some cleanup, reshuffling of the blessings, of the treasures, and other stuff like that. In our scenario, the orcs failed to achieve victory, although they pretty nicely attacked here at the beginning. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities, and those dark ravens, they are very problematic, although a couple of times they did not attack nicely. They failed here, and I believe they failed here. With this video I wanted to explain to you the advanced rules. As you can see, even with a short scenario and all my explanation, it took some time to play the 3-turn scenario. So you may imagine with more players it might be a bit longer, but on the other hand, usually there is not so much explaining and so on and so forth. I'm still having a lot of fun and a real blast with this game, so I will be playing more and more, definitely with advanced rules. They spice up the game, they add the heroes, they add the monsters, they add all of this magic, so this game is getting really cool. That's all for today. Thank you for being with me. If you liked this video, as always, kindly please give thumbs up. Also, any subscription is welcome. There will be more materials, there will be more videos, but also session reports which will explain and explore further that great game. Thanks for watching and thanks for being with me. Bye!